Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business here this morning on this edition of Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys, because you literally cannot sleep on the Dallas Cowboys because things happen first thing in the morning, late at night, middle of the evening. You never know what's going to happen with the Dallas Cowboys. So you want to be up to speed with all that is America's soap opera. And a soap opera it is. Whew, where to begin? David Irving. David Irving's attorney sent word to Mike Fisher thanking everybody for the Cowboys for the patience while David Irving is dealing with custody battle for his daughter and things like that. And I sympathize with him. I understand that completely because in 1994, I had a flesh-eating bacteria in my knee. Spent 2 weeks in the hospital, had 3 knee operations, and 6 months learning how to walk again with an IV antibiotics in my arm for 4 months. During that time, me and my wife broke up. I lost a job that I loved. And I ended up having my 5-year-old son and my 3-year-old daughter to take care of while I rebuilt my life. And people sympathized with what I was going for. Man, I feel bad for you. Anything I can do, let me know. But when it came to work, if I couldn't be there, I can't go to work today. My daughter's sick. Well, you can't be here. We'll get somebody else that will. And that's the harsh reality. He's got to be able to have a job to be able to help his daughter. He's got to get this stuff straight. I hope he gets it straight sooner than later, because at some point the Cowboys are going to say, it's already week 6. You've had one practice. You haven't had OTAs. You haven't had minicamp. You showed up out of shape. Football is a cruel business. The only people in the Cowboys that seem to be held accountable are the players. And when you don't perform, I don't care who you are. Bye-bye. So hoping he can get that stuff straightened out. Hopefully his attorneys can take care of business. He can focus in on football. And everything works out for everybody, hopefully. Then we have Alan Hearns, who's gone through and basically said, same thing Des Bryant said. The play calling is suspect. Des misses things. Offensive line misses things. We got things breaking down. I don't think he was trying to, per se, throw everybody under the bus, although it'll be turned and twisted that way. But he has valid points about our offense. I feel like watching our offense is a throwback. You look at all of the offenses that are high-flying, that are taking risk and things. We don't. We just still seem running up the middle on first down. The same stuff over and over again. And that's one of the complaints that I've always had with Jason Garrett is, and you see it when it's time to adjust at halftime. They don't adjust. They don't go with the scenario. They don't change in their play calling, their plays, they just don't change. They are singularly focused, and they figure that our talent is just going to beat their talent. That's not the case in the NFL. Everybody's got talent. And the problem is they're going to take their talent, and they're going to figure out the best ways to stop your talent because we know what you're going to do. Hence, you get players that are flustered because they're like, what are we doing? Why are we calling this against this defense? It makes no sense. You're not putting me in a position to succeed. And I don't understand how they don't see that. I don't understand how Jason Garrett's been there for 8 years and doesn't see that we're still running the same offense as before. And the way you know that is this offense was built to have Tony Romo running it. And it worked great with Tony Romo running it. But Tony Romo's not walking through that door. And how you know that it was only built for Tony Romo? The fact that 2015, you could only win one game. And it wasn't because of what we did. It was more of Santana Moss running backwards, fumbling the ball on the 5-yard line so we could kick the game-winning field goal. Everything, once Tony Romo went down, was geared for Tony Romo, and they didn't have the flexibility to work with what they had. Brandon Wheaton had been there for a year and a half, but you couldn't coach him to win a game, but he can go to the Texans and win a game and get them into the playoffs. And they were down to their third-string quarterback. We don't have the flexibility. And herein lies the problem with Dak. When I watch, like the third down call in overtime, you see these slow developing plays. You see them do more seven-step dropbacks, and teams are teeing off. You know that the Texans have Clowney, who was eating Tyron Smith. You got J.J. Watt, who was tied for first in sacks. Those guys are rushing the hell out of you. Yet you're still doing 7-step drop back on slow developing plays downfield. What you have to look at is, I need to protect my quarterback, and I need to get the ball out quick. 3-step, 5-step drop back. You can't do slow developing plays, yet they continue to do it. Now, I've been doing YouTube since 2012, and the first 4 years didn't have that many views, because a lot of people are like, oh, where have you been? I've never seen you on YouTube. Well, because nobody watched it. I focused more on Facebook, because I had Cowboys Joe Boo's page, and I had 5,000 likes on that. YouTube, I had like 100, so I focused on that. But that changed after one video. I watched the Senior Bowl in 2016 because I wanted to see our coaching staff working with Carson Wentz, because that was a guy that he might have been interested in. We knew we were going to have to get a quarterback at some point to replace Tony Romo. And that's when I first saw Dak Prescott. And after seeing him at the Senior Bowl, I was like, this kid's got quite a bit going for him. And I started looking at his college tape, because I'm not a college guy. I'm not like Vosh that watches tons and tons. You know, when it comes to the draft, I leave it to those guys. When they get to the Cowboys, then I learn everything about them. But I started watching clips on him, and I did this video that once Dak ended up being the starting quarterback, everybody wanted to know stuff about Dak Prescott, and that's when people started paying attention to me. But I want you to look at this video and see some of the things that I saw, and then we'll talk about it.
Do the other thing.
It wasn't a dink and dunk offense. Yes, he ran more of because he didn't have talent around him. But when he did, he was damn good at it. Doesn't look like a dink and dunk right there. And he didn't have exactly the highest quality of talent to work with. Back shoulder fade. Oh, quick hit. Strike. Keep in mind, this wasn't a football factory. He wasn't surrounded by talent. In fact, the only other person on that offense that was drafted was his tight end in the 6th round. And Mississippi State
He's an
was
academic
never a
All-American.
football powerhouse.
Definitely studies the books. You probably won't hear about him in too many police reports.
So as I look at
But I
that,
think the Dallas Cowboys may be able to trade back.
and I think about what the Cowboys do. If you watch Dak, there's a couple of things that stand out. Dak Prescott looks more comfortable in the no-huddle, the hurry-up offense. Cowboys need to do more of it, because you see that's basically what they did in Mississippi State. Dak Prescott in play action is the 7th best quarterback in the NFL. His QBR is 120-something. yet we don't run that much play action. It's not difficult. What you have to do is say, these are the things that Dak does good. So let's focus on doing more of that. Play action. Get the defense sucking in on Zeke Elliott. Get him outside because he's great outside. The 7-step drop back where he's sitting here, it's not his game. Understand, he has legs and can run if he has to. Run pass option. Yet we continue to run ourselves into a brick wall doing the same thing over and over again. People say, well, Dak Prescott's not accurate. Yeah, well, people say the same thing about Cam Newton. Yet I believe he's been to a Super Bowl and has also been league MVP. Look what a Norv Turner is doing for that offense right now in Carolina. Coaching makes all the difference in the world. You've got your players now questioning your play calling. That means they don't believe in it. They're tuning it out. They're going through the motions. If you do not grab a hold of this and start trying to fix the problems, change up what you're doing, it's going to be a miserable season. It's just going to continue to be ugly. And what you'll see is eventually Dak will get out of here, and a coach will take him that understands how to use him and get the most of him. I don't know if he'll ever be a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he'll win a whole lot of games. All I know is you have to give him the opportunity to succeed by putting him in a position to succeed. Nothing against Kellen Moore. But see, here's the thing. I know a lot about woodworking. I don't know everything. I mean, I built all the cabinetry, all this woodwork that's down here in my man cave. You've seen me build. There's other things I would like to learn how to do. But I can't take a guy from high school shop class and think that he's going to be the one to teach me to the next level. You need a master craftsman to take me to the next level. Somebody I can look up to and say, wow, you did that? Show me how you did that. That's not there with Kellen Moore. Another thing that drives the hell out of me, drives me crazy, is I see an Andy Reid on the sidelines with his quarterback as soon as he comes off the field. He's talking with him. He's coaching with him. He's working with him in real time. I see that with a lot of coaches. I see that even with Tom Brady and his offensive coordinator. Yet, when our Cowboys come off the field, they're on the bench. Very rarely with a coach anywhere near them. Very rarely do I see Scott Linehan with Dak Prescott. I know he's up in the booth and he's relaying everything through Kellen Moore. Does that seem right to you? Does that seem like we're trying to put him in a position to succeed? To me, that's a problem. Jerry, you need to look long and hard. I know you got more money. It doesn't matter if half of the fan base decides to just not show up anymore for games. Everybody's still going to watch the train wreck that is the Dallas Cowboys. But you're losing fans. And people are getting disgusted with what they see. You need to make some changes for the sake of changes. Now, I can't wait to see the Eagles and the Giants tonight because, well, it's not over, but if the Eagles lose tonight, I think it's over for the Eagles. And I got to be honest, watching the Giants game, seeing them try and battle back and get close, I feel like the Giants got a little bit of momentum. The fact that they finally let Eric Flowers go, I think that all of a sudden will be a boost in itself. And the Eagles, they're down to 3 defensive tackles. They're beat up. Their offensive coordinator, Frank Wright, is gone. And I think the Eagles have quite a few problems. Now, I may be deemed just a hater, but I think the Giants are going to get this win tonight. Can't wait to watch it. But as always, friends, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, well, this doesn't work. Have a great Thursday, and I'll see you here later.